Alright, here's my tear down and upgrade of my 2020 F-150 headlights. So there's a ton of these little push pins you have to take off the front of the truck. There's 10 or 16 of them. It's a lot. Alright, they're all gone. Good. Now they get the side trim. There's a 7mm, I think, screw you got to take out. That's that. And then you got to pry the trim away. Now the trim here, there's a yellow piece and a clear tab. You want to get those loose from the trim piece. You'll see that a little later, I think. Yeah, there's a push pin there on both sides, and that just pries right loose. Pretty straightforward stuff. There's four 10mm screws across the top here for the bumper, and one harness point you need to take loose. And then there's two 8mm screws at the bottom and two 10mm, and then it just kind of pops loose. And there's a side piece on both sides that kind of will hold the headlight in if you don't remove it. It's not in the instructions exactly, and there's two little ducts that need to be disconnected from the bottom of the headlight before you can actually pull them loose. Not really sure what they do. It seems like they just take air from the front of the truck and dump it in on the outside of the wheel well. Here I'm swapping the turn indicators. Whoop! Okay, so a comparison of the headlights stock versus the new ones. Not sure how fair that is at this distance because there's so much vertical delta between the high and low beams, but I thought I'd get a shot of it anyway. You can see how much darker the Mirimotos are versus the stock ones. And we're dropping that ductwork again. Alright. The left side was much higher, but there's an adjustment on these guys. You'll see me messing with that in just a second after I get the majority of the grill back in here. So the stock headlights are not adjustable, which I thought was interesting. There's the adjustment for the low beam, so it lets you fix your cutoff vertical. I kind of dialed these down so they were near each other. I'll have to take them up at nighttime to a good brick wall someplace and make sure they're where they're supposed to be. All the lower front end screws going back in. Now it's time for those corner trim pieces. And this is that long trim piece. Kind of aggravating. I eventually give up and just put it up on the truck. Yep. And then kind of pull these tabs out and remount them in the side trim piece. This is a lot easier than trying to push it back into the pieces with the tabs in the bumper trim piece. And a zillion push pins go back into the cowling area here. It's just a little, I guess it's there to make sure that the air goes through the, there's a variable damper system in the front of this truck. I guess, right, I bought it in South Dakota. I'm not sure you get that if you buy it here in Georgia.